This is the Fram Ultra Synthetic Oil Filter XG3614. It is the same with the old one I removed from the vehicle and I'm replacing. Now, this is a very important tip that most persons who are working on vehicles, mechanic, do-it-yourselfers, all get wrong. Filter. Today I'm going to be taking you over the process of changing engine oil for the 3MZ V6 engine in the Lexus ES330. This process is going to be similar across vehicles and makes. But importantly, there are 6 things I want to point out specifically when you are changing engine oil. These 6 things are things you are likely going to miss if you decide to skip this video. First things first, we're going to be needing the engine oil. Of course, this is the Mobi 1 Extended Performance 5W30. This is what my engine recommends. As you can see, 5W30 energy saving on the cap there. This protects for 20,000 miles or a year. Because I don't like changing motor oil frequently, I go with this. Keeps my engine squeaky clean, so I have no complaints. Of course, pairing with the Mobi 1 oil, engine oil, this is a Fram Ultra Synthetic Oil Filter that is good for 20,000 miles. And it's also designed in a way that it snugs in and out in a perfect manner. It's called Sure Grip technology. This is roughing out. It helps in both slipping in and out. Of course, we also need the oil filter chain. It's called the wrench actually, but I have a chain. I have a chain because it works across ranges. If I have a different vehicle tomorrow, it will easily hook on the oil filter and make it come out easier than the standard wrench that is one size that fits on a particular oil filter. To achieve this job, of course, we have a standard wrench and socket. This is a 14mm. The bolt from the oil pan bolt, engine oil pan bolt uses a 14mm. This is it. This is a 14mm socket that is going to ensure that the bolt comes out easily. Of course, it's going to be paired with a wrench in this manner. Of course, we also have gloves, mechanic gloves, to make things easier. Then, of course, this is the drain pan and a rag, then lots and lots of paper towels in case there are spills. You never can tell. Now let's get to it. First things first, though, we need to warm up the vehicle by driving it to operating temperature so that the oil will flow out better. And of course, if there are any particles, any contaminants, they will be suspended in the oil and go out of the drain when the old oil comes out. That's it. Let's take the vehicle for a spin. This is driving now to warm the vehicle to operating temperatures. As you can see, we're just starting out. We still have 5 or 10 minutes to get the oil up to operating temperature. So what I'm going to do is simply use that time and run some errands, get the vehicle and the oil hot, then we drain. The vehicle hit operating temperature rather quickly. In about 5 minutes, the roads were free, so we have operating temperature now. I don't know if you can see it here. That LED is out, but it's exactly in the middle where it should be. We're going to make a U-turn now and go back to the house so that we can have the hot oil drain out now. Okay, let's head back. It's about to come out now. Notice that I allowed the drain plug to go into the receiving can along with the used engine oil for safety's sake. You see, there is nothing even on the ratchet. Clean job. While we wait for the engine oil to drain completely down the drain pan, it makes sense to remove the filter and allow everything drain before we couple things back and fill with fresh oil. Unfortunately, the filter of this vehicle, the oil filter of this vehicle is located down this exhaust manifold for bump 2. I have already slacked it. It's quite difficult assessing and reaching. It wasn't practical to go down and place a camera, but I've slacked it already. This is proving still difficult. Okay, it's coming up by hand now. Okay, it's going to make quite a mess, so be sure to have the drain pan directly beneath where the filter, oil filter of your vehicle is located. Not any mess, any oil trapped in the filter, any mess is going to create to be captured directly by the drain pan beneath it exactly. You can hear that sound. That's it. Okay, that's it. It's off now. It's off now. This is the oil filter. Third point is this: after removal of your oil filter, make sure you are putting exactly the grade of engine oil that your vehicle manufacturer recommends. The oil weight or grade for this, as you can see, is 5W30. That is exactly what the vehicle recommends here via the cap. As you can see, that's 5W30. This is where the paper towels I mentioned earlier come in handy. You can see the mess the oil filter created here, and you can see down to the sump, and that one is still trickling still, though it's negligible now. So we're going to go ahead, clean all the mess, replace the drain bolt, torque everything according to spec, then proceed with the oil filter and refilling of engine oil. This is the Fram Ultra Synthetic Oil Filter XG3614. It is the same with the old one I removed from the vehicle and I'm replacing. Now, this is a very important tip that most persons who are working on vehicles, mechanic, do-it-yourselfers, all get wrong. Filters come with mounting instructions from their manufacturers. For mounting any filter, be sure to check with the manufacturer or check with the packaging exactly how the filter should be mounted. The essence is not to overtorque it or undertorque it. You don't want a filter coming up when you are driving, and you don't want a filter so tight that when it's time for removal, it's essentially mates to the surface of the block, engine block, that it makes it practically impossible to remove. For this model, the installation instruction reads here. It reads tighten 3/4. I don't know whether you can see that in the camera, but it says tighten 3/4 to 110 after gasket contacts base. There's a further instruction that goes that one needs to dispose of old filter properly. Simply dispose of old filter properly. Now, let's get this. Once it contacts base, turning Just one additional turn, and that will be it. Filter is mounted now. I'm turning it. Hasn't contacted base yet. It just contacted base now. The instruction is to turn it 3/4 to 1 full turn. That's exactly what I'm going to do now. I'll go under the vehicle. Sorry, the camera can't go there. But the idea is to get to see some markings or indentations. Align those markings or indentations, for instance, at 12 o'clock. So when those markings come back at 9 o'clock, you have 3/4. And when they come back to 12 o'clock, you have a full 10. Yeah, I have gone down and essentially turned it a full 10 after I contacted base. One thing to also specifically note about oil filters is this. Oil filters are generally hand-tied. You don't need a wrench, you don't need any oil filter chain or any sort of tightening device to torque oil filters. Oil filters are generally tied by hand, except specifically requested otherwise by your manufacturer. There is no need, there is no basis of getting a special tool or wrench to torque an oil filter, engine oil filter down. Simply tie by hand according to the specific recommendations of the oil filter, and that's it. The fifth tip, of course, is to figure out exactly what your vehicle needs in terms of engine oil. This is a V6 engine, 3.3 liter engine. Per the owner's manual, this vehicle takes about 4.7 liters of engine oil. There are about 4.73 liters here. So essentially everything goes down in this engine. This is the very last part of the engine oil changing phase. The sixth and most important point at this stage is to look for leaks. I've covered this up, the engine oil cap. Of course, I'm going to draw the dipstick and check for the level. This is the lower level, this is the upper level. I'm going to wipe it clean with the clean paper towel. I'm going to insert it, take it out again. I don't know if you can see that, but it's already at the upper mark, which is this. Means it's filled up satisfactorily. Now, after this, I'm going to start the engine and inspect the leaks. I'm going under the vehicle. Of course, it's too tight there to take in the camera again, but I'm going under the vehicle to make sure that there are no leaks. And of course, I'm going to take the vehicle for a spin to make sure there are no leaks. And importantly, very, very importantly, I'm going to set the trip A meter down to 000 so that I log the miles on this particular engine oil change duration. I know that when next year around this time, if I still own this vehicle, I'm changing the engine oil, I simply go back to the trip A and see exactly how many miles I have logged in. It is also a guide. The engine oil is supposed to stay in the engine for more than a year or 20,000 miles. If I happen to log in more than 20,000 miles, an indication at that point to change the oil. So what I will need to do henceforth after setting the trip A meter to 000 is simply to check it periodically to make certain that it is still within the recommendations. These are my tips for changing engine oil. If you have any tips, please kindly share in the comments. If you think something should have been done better, let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, let me know which was your favorite tip and why. Take care. Catch you on the next one.